Like, you're better off doing it with the amount of time we have than an IV. So I'm like, hey, I get all my weight back on. I can't complain, but
why is it better orally? It seems like getting it right into your bloodstream would be quicker.
Obviously you do IVs.
Yeah.
So I used to, like, it'd be after cutting weight, so I'd be super bloated afterwards. I mean, you get bloated from drinking your liquids you have to put back in anyway, but that's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, maybe it'll just fuck up your stomach more, but I don't know.
It's such a weird balance.
It is.
And it's so interesting when you have something like the UFC PI, which is like super high-tech, super scientific. They can tell you how much water to drink. And it used to be guys were just kind of winging it, and they would fuck it up one time and get it right the next time. And
like, they give us a sheet because we have Joey Pfeiffer fighting December 10th. He has a main event, so I'm going to go out there, do all my testing, and they give you a sheet. Like, they know how many calories you burn at absolute rest. Like, they know, like, your body, like, better than you do, and they give you a sheet. Like, after you weigh in, you need 4,500 calories, you need like 1,000 grams of carbs, you need like all these different macros, and it's right there. Like,
and do they provide you? I know they do that with some fighters. They give you like meal prep.
Yep.
Like, how are they doing that?
So
they do it based on each athlete, your weight.
As far as I know, they and I've hired other nutritionists and stuff like that, but the PI does it great. Like, it's free for all UFC fighters, and if you're just in contact with them all the time, like I am, like, they make it so easy for you, and they hand you your meals, and they're like, listen, eat this, and then you should be good to go. Like, they're taking your weight. They tell you how much water to drink. Like, they make it pretty easy for us, you know.
And do they provide you guys with supplements? Because I know
Thorne.
Yep. Okay, so it's all set up for you.
Yeah, so if you want all Thorne, like, now we have an app that we go on and we can put in an order every month that we want. So they do a lot of good shit for us. Like,
what are you not allowed to take? You're allowed to take creatine, right?
Creatine. Yeah,
Creatine's
so
okay.
Any supplement that's third-party tested. So I use this company called Allmax. They have some things that are third-party tested and some things that aren't. So all the things that are third-party, I think it's Informed Choice. So Informed Choice, BSCG, like, I take Shroom Tech from On It. You guys have BSCG. I can take that.
Right.
But if it didn't, you can take it, but now it's at your own risk. So anything that's third-party tested, we're good to go. But I thought going into this now, like, we'd be able to do more stuff, and I was asking Jeff about. I text Jeff Novinsky and I was asking about peptides. Like, I just wanted to see, like, maybe for my hand or just any injuries. I'm like, are we going to be allowed to take this? And it's an absolute no.
Yeah, I was talking to them about that too, and as well as the new guy from Drug Free Sport.
Yeah,
I forget his name. But the guy's taken over from USADA, and they were saying no because peptides, you'll get popped for it at each individual commission. So if you're in Florida and they don't allow it, you test there, the Florida commission will pop you for it.
Yeah, because I was asking him, he said even if they didn't allow it, he said all the states, like, they won't give you, it's called a TUE, some kind of exemption, and they said none of them would do it. So I'm like, all right, well, just good to know, not to, but like stem cells and stuff like that, like, as far as I know, like, that's all good to go.
Yeah, that's all good to go.
Yeah, creatine, protein, like, all that shit, like, there's so many companies now who have third-party tested stuff, like, you can take plenty of stuff. Fish oil, like, and then if you don't want to go outside the realm, just stay with Thorne, because their shit's super high quality.
And the UFC gives it all that stuff to you for free. That's nice.
Yeah.
So do you ever do a camp at the PI, or do you your camps all in Philly?
I've done all my camps in Philly, and that's something, like, that I'm super, like, proud and happy about. Like, I'm born and raised in Philly. I've never left. We have a small team. It's called Marquez MMA. We have like 6 guys in the UFC right now. We have me, Joey Pfeiffer, Pat Sabatini, Andre Petrosky, Jeremiah Wells. So, like, we have
That's a great crew.
We got a good squad. We had Paul Felder. Paul was like one of the first guys out of Philly. Besides, I train with Eddie Alvarez. So, like, we have a good group of Philly guys. So
that's nice.
Yeah, when I fought Christian Aguilera and I put him to sleep with a guillotine. Eddie was my main training partner because it was during COVID. He was fighting for ONE FC. No one was training, and he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, are you guys training?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're training." We had all of our windows like ducked because in Philly, like, you weren't, like, they were shutting shit down, and but we all had fights, so we're fucking training. So me and Eddie got super close during that.
When Cormier fought Stipe, he got COVID during camp and just trained right through it. Just kept going.
I fought first time when you interviewed me and you weren't even in the cage. It was when they were still doing.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
It was Jake Matthews. I had COVID 2 weeks before the fight.
You remember that? how crazy that was? You just had a fucking cage fight. So you're on top of each other, sweating, pounding on each other. Everyone's tested. I'm tested. All the announcers are tested. All the referees are tested. And we still couldn't be next to each other when I interviewed you. That was so dumb.
So I had COVID 2 weeks before that. Only symptoms I had were I lost my taste and my smell, which that fucking sucks.
For food, right?
Food, and like I love drinking coffee, especially when you're in camp and you're cutting weight. Like that's the only like thing you really get to enjoy. So I get to fight week, show up because I tested negative before I got there. I let the UFC know. I get there, I take my first test, and so when you were getting tested, they would call you, get a text. You're good to go to work. All my coaches sitting around me all got their text at 7 a.m. My phone never goes off. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, something's not right. I get a phone call. They're like, hey, like you tested positive. I'm like, no. Like I had, like, so I sent them my results. Like it was a false positive. So luckily I sent them all my stuff and let them know I had COVID 2 weeks ago. So like everything obviously went through, but like, if I didn't do that, they would have canceled my fight right there. Ugh. I was getting calls from the CDC because I was in Vegas. They're telling me I can't leave the state, like I can't fly home. I was like, fuck that. I was like, I'm driving the next city over and I'm flying home if I can't fight. Like I'm not staying here. So yeah, that was
what a wild time.
But it's still lingering.
It's sort of. They're trying to bring it back a little bit in some ways. I still see people like in restaurants. I saw the other day. A server was wearing a mask. I was like, what? Okay.
The best is when you're in your car by yourself.
Nuts.
You're by yourself.
There's
no one around you.
It's insane.
Yeah,
these people are just insane.
Yeah.
Some people just lost their minds. I mean, they just broke. They broke a fuse.
Yeah. But the hospitals, like my wife's an RN, and she said they're reinstating the mask mandate. But I think it might be there's flu and then there's COVID and shit. So
it's just not even scientific. That's the thing. It's not even based on science. Like you're doing it to make people feel better.
Yeah.
Because the science doesn't support mask use. It just doesn't.
Before the Kelvin fight, like 3 weeks in, I had lost my taste and my smell. I'm like, I definitely have COVID. I've refused to test myself though. I'm like, I'm not testing myself. Like I'm not doing it. Like I trained, and I'm like, if I tested myself and if I had it, then I'd be like, fuck. Like I feel bad.
Are they testing anybody?
No. And I'm like, I'm just sick. Like I'm just normal. Like my normal sick. Like you can get normal. I'm like, all I taste is metal for 3 weeks, but I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Isn't it crazy though that it feels like normal sick, but because you have this label on it, it's not the same COVID anymore. It's just not.
Yeah,
and they're still treating it like it's this deadly disease.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I knew a few people who got fucked up, but people also get fucked up from the flu.
Yeah,
like people get fucked up from normal sicknesses. So like, yeah, no.